Today we're going to be looking at the discriminant. We can use the discriminant to work out how many solutions there are and therefore how many times the graph crosses the x-axis. Now remember, the discriminant, that's the symbol, is the bit under the square root sign, so it's b squared minus 4ac, and that is that part of the quadratic formula. Now if the discriminant is less than 0, then the equation has 0 solutions and therefore no x-intercepts. Because remember, this is how we find the x-intercept. If the discriminant equals 0, then the equation has 1 solution and therefore 1 x-intercept. In other words, it actually touches the graph, because remember, we're talking about parabolas here. And if the discriminant is greater than 0, then the equation has 2 solutions and therefore 2 x-intercepts. So in other words, it crosses the x-axis. Example 1 says, find the discriminant of each of the following quadratics and state whether the graph of each crosses the x-axis, touches it, or does not intersect it. So the first one, remember my A here is the one in front of the x squared, which is 1. B is -5. And C equals 7. Now really, the discriminant, we only need to work out b squared minus 4ac, and that's for all of them. B squared here is 25, minus, and a plus in front of the 1 is still a minus, and a plus in front of the 7 is still a minus. 4 times 1 is still 4, and 4 times 7 is 28. So we've got minus 28 here, so the discriminant here ends up being -3. Now, since the discriminant is less than 0, because -3 is less than 0, the graph does not intersect the x-axis. So that's that first one. For part B, again, A equals 1 here, B equals -4, and C equals 2. Again, write down the rule. The more times you write down these rules, the more easier you're going to remember them. B squared, this time -4 squared is 16, minus here in the equation, plus 1 and a plus 2 still gives me a minus. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So 16 take away 8 equals 8. So since the discriminant is greater than 0, the graph intersects the x-axis at 2 distinct points. Because it does cross, remember, at 2 points here. For part C, A equals 2, B equals -8, and C equals 8. Again, writing the rule, discriminant equals b squared minus 4ac. B is -8, -8 squared is 64. Minus, and a plus still gives me a minus. 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 8 is 64. 64 minus 64 equals 0. I'm sure you knew that that was going to happen. Now, since the discriminant equals 0, the graph, and you guessed it, touches x-axis at 1 point. And that's your exercise 4I.